What if I told you that there was once a time when car manufacturers didn't design vehicles to break down after a few years? What if I revealed that decades ago, engineers actually built cars with the intention of them lasting forever? Picture this: massive steel frames that could survive nuclear blasts, engines so simple yet robust that farmers could fix them with basic tools in their backyard, and electrical systems so straightforward that a high school student could understand them completely. These weren't concepts or prototypes. These were real production cars that rolled off assembly lines with one mission: to outlast their owners, their children, and maybe even their grandchildren. Today, we live in an age of planned obsolescence, where your smartphone becomes outdated in 2 years, and your car starts having mysterious problems right after the warranty expires. But what if we could go back to that golden era of automotive engineering? What if we could rediscover the secrets of those legendary machines that were truly built to last forever? Number 8. Volvo 240 Series, 1974-1993. When Volvo engineers sat down to design the 240 Series, they weren't just building a car, they were architecting a legend that would redefine what automotive longevity meant. The Volvo 240 became the automotive equivalent of a Swiss watch. But instead of telling time, it told the story of Swedish engineering excellence that refused to compromise. The heart of the 240's legendary durability lay in its powertrains, particularly the bulletproof B230F four-cylinder engine. This wasn't just an engine, it was a mechanical masterpiece that seemed to laugh in the face of neglect. With its cast iron block and aluminum head, this 2.3-liter unit was overbuilt to an almost ridiculous degree. The engine internals were machined to tolerances that would make precision instrument makers jealous, and every component was designed with massive safety margins. What made the B230F truly special was its simplicity. In an era where other manufacturers were experimenting with complex systems that would later prove problematic, Volvo stuck to proven technology. The engine featured a simple overhead cam design, reliable Bosch fuel injection, and a cooling system that could handle extreme conditions. Mechanics loved working on these engines because everything was accessible, logical, and built to last. The 230/40's body construction was where Volvo's safety obsession paid dividends in longevity. The car featured a galvanized steel body with extensive anti-corrosion treatment. While other cars of the era were dissolving into rust buckets, the 230/40's body panels remained solid. The paint system was equally impressive, with multiple coats and primers that kept the car looking respectable decades after it left the factory. Perhaps most importantly, Volvo designed the 230/40 with serviceability in mind. Parts were readily available and remained so for decades after production ended. The car's systems were well documented, and its reputation for reliability meant that mechanics worldwide became familiar with its quirks and maintenance requirements. Number 7. Toyota Land Cruiser FJ40, 1960-1984. In the pantheon of vehicles built to conquer the impossible, the Toyota Land Cruiser FJ40 stands as perhaps the greatest testament to Japanese engineering philosophy. Build it once, build it right, and build it to last forever. This wasn't just a vehicle, it was a mechanical monument to the idea that simplicity, strength, and reliability could triumph over complexity and flash. The FJ40's design philosophy was born from necessity. Toyota needed to create a vehicle that could handle the harshest conditions imaginable, from the scorching deserts of Australia to the frozen tundra of Alaska. The result was a machine so overbuilt that it became legendary among those who demanded absolute reliability from their vehicles. The heart of the FJ40 was its power plant, engines that were designed with military-grade reliability in mind. The most famous of these was the 3.9-liter inline-six 2F engine, a cast-iron masterpiece that produced modest power but tremendous torque and legendary reliability. This wasn't an engine designed for speed, it was engineered for longevity. Every internal component was overbuilt, from the massive crankshaft to the robust cylinder head design. The 2F engine's design was deliberately conservative. Toyota engineers avoided cutting-edge technology in favor of proven solutions. The result was an engine that could run for hundreds of thousands of miles with basic maintenance, and that could be repaired with simple tools in remote locations. The engine's simplicity meant that even relatively inexperienced mechanics could keep it running. The FJ40's chassis was constructed using truck-grade components throughout. The frame was made from high-strength steel channel sections that were welded and bolted together with obsessive attention to structural integrity. This wasn't a unibody construction that might crack under stress. This was a full ladder frame designed to handle loads that would destroy lesser vehicles. The body panels were constructed from heavy-gauge steel with extensive rust-proofing treatment. Toyota understood that their customers would be operating these vehicles in harsh environments, and they engineered the body accordingly. The simple angular design wasn't just practical, it was also easier to repair and maintain in the field. Number 6. Mercedes-Benz W123, 1976 to 1985. When Mercedes-Benz engineers began developing the W123 series, they weren't just creating a car, they were establishing a new benchmark for automotive engineering excellence that would define what it meant to build a truly premium vehicle. The W123 represented the pinnacle of German automotive philosophy: over-engineer everything, use only the finest materials, and never compromise on quality regardless of cost. The W123's construction was a masterclass in automotive engineering. Every component, from the smallest bolt to the largest structural member, was designed and manufactured to standards that exceeded anything else in the automotive industry. This wasn't just attention to detail, it was an obsessive commitment to creating a machine that would operate flawlessly for decades. The body construction of the W123 was revolutionary for its time. Mercedes pioneered the use of galvanized steel throughout the vehicle's structure, creating a body shell that was virtually immune to corrosion. The painting process involved multiple coats of primer and paint, applied in controlled environments, with standards that rivaled those used in aerospace manufacturing. The engines available in the W123, from the robust four-cylinder gasoline units to the legendary diesel power plants, were designed with massive overcapacity built into every component. The diesel engines, particularly the 240D and 300D variants, became legendary for their longevity. These weren't just engines, they were industrial power plants that happened to be installed in passenger cars. The 300D's 5-cylinder diesel engine was particularly remarkable. With its indirect injection system and conservative tuning, this engine could easily exceed 500,000 miles with proper maintenance. The engine block was cast from high-quality iron, and every internal component was machined to tolerances typically reserved for aircraft engines. The attention to detail in the W123 extended to areas that most manufacturers would consider insignificant. The door seals were engineered to maintain their effectiveness for decades. The window mechanisms were precision-engineered devices that operated smoothly and reliably. Even the ventilation system was designed with long-term durability in mind. Number 5. Jeep CJ Series, 1955 to 1987. The Jeep CJ Series represented more than just a vehicle. It was the embodiment of American automotive pragmatism, a machine designed to work hard, play hard, and never quit. Born from military necessity and refined through decades of civilian use, the CJ became the template for what an indestructible utility vehicle should be. The CJ's design philosophy was refreshingly straightforward: build it strong, keep it simple, and make sure it can be fixed anywhere with basic tools. This wasn't a philosophy born from cost-cutting. It was a deliberate engineering decision to prioritize functionality and durability over complexity and sophistication. At the heart of most CJ models was the legendary AMC inline-six engine, particularly the 4.0-liter straight-six that became synonymous with reliability and longevity. This wasn't just an engine, it was a mechanical monument to the principle that simple, robust design trumps complexity every time. The 4.0-liter engine's design was deliberately conservative. The cast-iron block was thick and heavy, designed to handle stresses far beyond what normal operation would demand. The cylinder head was engineered for durability rather than maximum performance, and the valvetrain was designed to operate reliably for hundreds of thousands of miles with minimal maintenance. The chassis design was pure function over form. The frame was constructed from heavy-gauge steel channel sections that were welded and bolted together with military precision. This wasn't a lightweight, sophisticated chassis. It was a heavy, overbuilt structure designed to handle whatever punishment CJ owners could dish out. Inside, the CJ featured an interior designed for work rather than luxury. The seats were built like military equipment, designed to handle years of hard use without failing. The dashboard and controls were simple and robust, designed to be operated with gloves on and to continue functioning even after years of exposure to dust, dirt, and moisture. Number 4. Chevrolet Suburban, 1967 to 1991. The Chevrolet Suburban of this era wasn't just a large SUV, it was a rolling testament to American automotive engineering at its most practical and enduring. Built on truck platforms and engineered with commercial-grade components, these Suburbans were designed to handle whatever American families and businesses could throw at them, and then keep going for decades more. The foundation of the Suburban's legendary durability was its truck-based construction. Unlike modern SUVs built on car platforms, the Suburban rode on a full ladder frame constructed from heavy-gauge steel. This wasn't a compromised design. It was a deliberate engineering decision to create a vehicle that could handle maximum loads, tow heavy trailers, and operate in harsh conditions for years without structural failure. The heart of most Suburbans during this era was the small-block Chevrolet V8, an engine that became synonymous with American automotive reliability. Available in various displacements from 305 to 454 cubic inches, these engines shared a common design philosophy: overbuilt internal components, conservative tuning, and proven technology that prioritized longevity over maximum performance. The 350 cubic inch small block became particularly legendary for its durability. With its cast iron block and heads, forged steel crankshaft, and robust valvetrain, this engine was designed to operate reliably for hundreds of thousands of miles. The engine's design was mature and proven, having been refined over decades of production. The transmission options were industrial-grade units designed for commercial service. The manual transmissions were heavy-duty 4-speeds that could handle the torque of the big V8 engines while providing years of reliable service. The automatic transmissions were equally robust, featuring heavy-duty internal components and cooling systems designed for towing and high-load operation. Number 3. Ford F-150, 1975 to 1986. During this golden era of American truck manufacturing, the Ford F-150 represented the pinnacle of utilitarian vehicle design. These weren't just pickup trucks, they were mobile tools designed to work hard every day and keep working for decades. Built when built, Ford Tough wasn't just a marketing slogan but a manufacturing philosophy. These F-150s established the template for what an indestructible work truck should be. The foundation of the F-150's legendary durability was its construction methodology. Ford built these trucks using the same techniques and standards they used for their commercial and industrial vehicles. The frame was constructed from heavy-gauge steel channel sections that were welded and bolted together with obsessive attention to structural integrity. The engine options available in the F-150 during this era became legendary for their longevity and repairability. The 300 cubic inch inline-six became particularly famous as one of the most reliable engines ever produced. This wasn't just an engine, it was a mechanical masterpiece that seemed to improve with age. The 306's design was deliberately simple: a cast iron block and head, a long stroke design that produced tremendous torque at low RPM. What made the 306 truly special was its conservative engineering. The engine was designed with massive overcapacity built into every component. The crankshaft was forged steel, sized to handle loads far greater than the engine would ever produce. The connecting rods were heavy-duty units that could handle extreme stress. The V8 options were equally impressive. The 302 and 351 Windsor engines shared the same philosophy of overbuilt internal components and conservative tuning. These engines were designed to provide reliable power and torque for decades of service. The fuel systems were simple and robust, featuring mechanical fuel pumps that could be rebuilt with basic tools. The electrical system was designed for simplicity and reliability. The alternators were heavy-duty units sized to handle the electrical demands with plenty of reserve capacity. All electrical components were chosen for their long-term reliability rather than their sophistication. Number 2. Honda Accord, 1976 to 1989. The early generations of the Honda Accord represented a revolutionary approach to automotive engineering, the perfect marriage of Japanese precision manufacturing with a design philosophy that prioritized longevity and reliability above all else. These weren't just economy cars, they were precision instruments designed to operate flawlessly for hundreds of thousands of miles, while providing their owners with an experience that redefined what automotive reliability could mean. Honda's approach to building the early Accord was fundamentally different from their competitors. While other manufacturers were focused on reducing costs and maximizing short-term profits, Honda was obsessed with building cars that would enhance their reputation for decades to come. This philosophy permeated every aspect of the Accord's design and manufacturing. The engines available in the early Accord became legendary for their combination of efficiency, performance, and longevity. The CVCC compound vortex-controlled combustion engines were technological marvels that managed to meet strict emission standards without sacrificing reliability. These weren't just clean-burning engines, they were precision-engineered power plants that could operate reliably for hundreds of thousands of miles with minimal maintenance. The CVCC engine's design was revolutionary in its simplicity and effectiveness. The combustion chamber design allowed for lean burn operation, which not only reduced emissions but also improved fuel economy and reduced internal engine stress. The engine internals were manufactured to tolerances typically reserved for racing engines, and every component was designed with longevity in mind. The chassis design reflected Honda's obsession with precision and quality. The unibody construction was engineered using advanced computer modeling techniques that were revolutionary for the time. The body shell was designed to be both lightweight and incredibly rigid, providing excellent structural integrity while minimizing weight. Inside, the Accord featured an interior that was designed to age gracefully. The seat materials were carefully selected for their durability and ability to maintain their appearance over time. The dashboard and door panel materials were chosen for their resistance to UV damage and wear. All of the controls and switches were designed to operate smoothly and reliably for decades. Number 1. Dodge Ram, 1981 to 1993. The Dodge Ram trucks of this era represented American truck engineering at its most robust and uncompromising. Built during a time when Chrysler was fighting for survival and couldn't afford to build anything that wasn't absolutely dependable, these Rams were engineered with a level of overbuilding that bordered on obsessive. They weren't just pickup trucks, they were mobile monuments to the idea that American automotive engineering could create vehicles that would outlast their owners. The foundation of the Ram's legendary durability was its construction philosophy. Dodge built these trucks using techniques and standards borrowed from their commercial and heavy-duty truck divisions. The frame was constructed from heavy-gauge steel that was welded and bolted together with military precision. This wasn't a cost-conscious design, it was an engineering exercise in creating the strongest, most durable pickup truck platform possible. The engine options available in the Ram during this era became legendary among truck enthusiasts for their combination of power, torque, and incredible longevity. The most famous of these was the 318 cubic inch small block V8, an engine that became synonymous with Dodge truck reliability. This wasn't just an engine, it was a precision-engineered power plant that seemed to get stronger with age. The 318 engine's design was conservatively engineered to prioritize longevity over maximum performance. The cast iron block was thick and heavy, designed to handle stresses far beyond what normal operation would demand. The crankshaft was forged steel, sized to handle loads that would destroy lesser engines. The connecting rods were heavy-duty units that could handle extreme stress without failure. The cylinder heads were designed for durability rather than maximum flow. The valvetrain was engineered to operate reliably for hundreds of thousands of miles, featuring robust rocker arms, push rods, and lifters that could handle the stresses of commercial duty. The cooling system was overbuilt to handle extreme conditions, featuring radiators sized for much more demanding applications than normal pickup truck duty. The fuel system was equally robust. The mechanical fuel pumps were simple, reliable devices that could be rebuilt with basic tools. The carburetors were proven Holley or Carter units that any mechanic could understand and repair. The fuel lines and fittings were heavy-duty components designed for commercial service. The 4-speed manual transmissions were equally impressive. These were heavy-duty units that featured gear teeth cut to truck specifications and synchronizer systems designed for commercial duty. The shift mechanisms were positive and robust, designed to provide reliable operation even under extreme conditions. The cab construction was another area where the Ram's durability showed. The cab was built from heavy-gauge steel with extensive reinforcement and bracing. The doors were substantial units that were designed to handle years of hard use without developing problems. The interior trim was minimal but durable, designed to handle the wear and tear of commercial use. These 8 automotive legends represent more than just transportation. They're mechanical time capsules from an era when building something to last forever wasn't just possible, it was the standard. Each of these vehicles embodies a design philosophy that seems almost foreign by today's standards. Over-engineer everything, use only the finest materials, and never compromise on durability for the sake of profit margins or planned obsolescence. The legacy of these vehicles lives on in the millions of examples that continue to operate reliably decades after they left the factory floor. They serve as daily reminders that when engineering excellence meets manufacturing quality, the result is transportation that truly can last forever. In a world where we're constantly told that newer is better, these automotive legends prove that sometimes older really is better, because older was built to last.